Hello, guys. Let's check the news and try to catch up. I don't want it to pile up, so let's go for it. First off, you have another fire, and again, we talked about this. There are fires in Montreal. They have a different storyline than this one. This is a new trend or fad catching up in the rest of the province for different beefs. And this one's more alongside the Quebec area. Let's say, I believe it's speculation, but it would be more likely this follows the beefs in the red zone. So we have another event in Chaudière-Appalaches. If you remember, I think about 3-4 days ago, we covered another news that was there. I cannot remember what it was, but I remember talking about this. This is Chaudière-Appalaches right here. I think the other one was Beauce. Either it was Beauce, the key word was Beauce, or it was Chaudière-Appalaches. And how you see, and there's another news coming up. Let's see what's going on here, man. And I just turn your attention. They're talking about a fire, and this time you see a car body shop, right? And we were suspicious especially when we see car body shops. These are the types of business that those guys like to own, you know? And their enemies know they own these businesses. And
on peut dire que la nuit n'a pas été...
Let's see what this guy's going to say. Shout out to Luc Hez Mortadel, Picard, Anthony Serrano, and Chris Hensley. What's up, guys? So let's see what this guy's going to tell us.
De tout repos pour les policiers sur la rive sud de Québec. Un incendie
So on the south shore of Quebec City.
suspect et des coups de feu survenus tôt ce matin ont surpris les résidents de la petite mutuelle.
So a suspicious fire and gunshots were sprayed at the location.
De Saint-Damien de Buckland. 2 personnes ont été arrêtées.
Oh, 2 people were arrested. This is going to be interesting. My question is, does this follow the trend for the people over there that get arrested for these kinds of crimes when they're linked to the BFM would be maximum 30 years old, more likely 20-ish years old? Let's see.
Voici les explications d'Éliane Pilote.
Because they got 2 people,
Les autorités ont été appelées à intervenir vers 5 heures ce matin
At 5 a.m. this morning, the cops were called.
sur la rue commerciale à Saint-Damien de Buckland. Ils ont été appelés pour un incendie d'origine suspecte dans un bâtiment commercial et
So it's in Saint-Damien de Buckland, and they were called for a suspicious fire.
des coups de feu entendus à proximité.
And they heard because of gunshots being heard at the nearby.
Les policiers ont procédé à l'arrestation de 2 hommes, un dans
They arrested 2 people, 2 men.
la vingtaine et un dans la trentaine.
One in his 20s, one in his 30s.
En lien avec cette affaire, ils vont être rencontrés aujourd'hui. La régie Incendie Bellechasse-Sud confirme avoir été appelée également pour effectuer des vérifications plus tôt en journée. On s'est entretenu avec des citoyens
So they're gonna talk to citizens. Let's see if we get anything extra
du
here.
secteur. Voici ce qu'ils avaient à dire.
Ouais, c'est ça. J'ai cru entendre 3 coups de feu.
I thought I heard 3 gunshots,
Puis après ça, ben, j'ai entendu un char qui est parti au fond. Là.
and then I heard the car scramming out of there. So I'm guessing the engine made a lot of noise. Because he said he heard, you know?
Fait que on a
Let me just
entendu un
double
char qui est parti au fond. Là. Puis après ça, ben, j'ai entendu un char qui est
Yeah, he's talking about hearing. So he heard the loud car,
parti au
man.
fond. Là. Fait que en avant de la maison.
Pressing on the acceleration.
Le secteur d'habitude?
Ben, c'est tranquille là. C'est une zone... c'est assez relaxé. Là.
So how's the area usually? He says, oh, it's relaxed usually.
On se fait pas déranger. Puis...
Est-ce que ça vous a surpris d'apprendre qu'il y avait des coups de feu, incendie?
Ouais.
Did it surprise you?
Ouais, j'ai vu ça un matin, puis là, c'est là que ça a fait du sens, les coups que j'ai entendus.
Then he says, well, he doesn't seem to have realized it until the next day, and when he saw everything in the news, then he did 1 + 1 = 2, because he's the one, he heard the gunshots last night. I don't think he realized it was gunshots until he checked the news this morning.
C'est peut-être ça, là.
D'habitude, je décrirais le secteur comme un secteur calme,
I described the area as a calm area.
paisible. Il se passe pas vraiment d'événements tragiques ou quoi
Not
que
really
ce soit.
anything
C'est vraiment
happening
un
over
endroit
here.
calme. C'est petit quand même, fait que
It's a small town.
tout le monde se connaît un peu.
Everybody
Est-ce que
knows
ça te
each other.
surprend?
Oui, ça me surprend, là. Je suis
Yes, it
vraiment étonnée.
surprises me.
Ça me surprend bien gros parce
It surprises me a lot.
que c'est un petit village tranquille ici. Je
It's an area that's quiet over here
suis surpris là, parce que
Surprise?
ça arrive pas. Ça.
because it doesn't happen. man.
connaît?
Tout le monde se connaît. C'est
Everybody knows
Les
each
enquêteurs
other.
de la division des enquêtes sur les crimes majeurs sont
So the division of major crimes is going to investigate.
sur le terrain. Un technicien en scène d'incendie également.
technician's
Personne n'a
gonna
été
analyze.
blessé lors de cet événement. Eliane
Nobody
Pilote,
was injured.
TVA Nouvelle, à Saint-Damien de...
There you go. So I just want to know the name of the business. I want to be 100%. It looks like they're looking at the auto body shop, right? This is one of the favorite businesses for these kinds of people. Let's see. Yeah, it's just I thought it was two different businesses. I think it's a auto body shop, the whole thing here. But yeah, you see two. I'm not too sure. I see a banner here. I don't know if it's two different. This up here and this down here. I don't know if it's two different businesses or not. My eyes can barely read out this, so I can't really tell you. I know this part is cars because carrosserie is on this side. This part it says aesthetics. So I don't know. Sometimes I don't know any beauty salons that would want to open in an ugly place like this. Sorry, man. It's not inviting for customers to come through. So I wonder if they're talking about aesthetic for cars, not a beauty shop, I can't read this. I cannot tell what that says here. But I'm assuming probably both of them is cars. You see the door. I don't know. Can't tell. I'm going to look at the descriptions here. You can definitely see the rounds, perfect holes. Yeah. I know a thing or two of that. I've used to woke up once with something like this. It's perfect circles, I didn't know that's possible. It literally comes out like this, two perfect circles. Where do you got it? Let's see. I'm looking for the names of the business, if they can describe it here. They say, it's too early to establish link with the Blood family mafia. I don't doubt it, though. Let's keep going. Next one, guys. Today's stories is only BFM. I don't have 10 stories. I have 2 or 3. What's up, Rodney? What's up, Rodney Stubbert? How you doing, pal? And K6 Real, Sleepin' Joe. What's up, buddy? All right, BFM. We continue. We're going to learn about a new character. He's not new. He was already described in one of our stories. They just never gave details that I could read out to you, so I don't know anything about him. We're going to learn. I think it's going to be an important one because I glanced at it. A young man was arrested in a disturbing history or story of sequestration when you hold someone hostage. There is a perfect word for it. Someone told me what it is, and I already know the word, but I always forget. That's the funny part. So it's the obvious, but it doesn't come to me on the spot. But this guy's arrested before for, the BFM motto, how it's been going on last year. It's breaking into someone's home, keeping him hostage. Lately, it was not about keeping them hostage the last few months. It was about shooting through the door, getting in, or beating the guy up, or shooting him, basically. And not necessarily to kill him either. Good enough to get him in the stomach and then leave. That was the latest ones. No more about holding people hostage. But this story is talking about holding someone hostage. Now, this brings us back to probably 2024-ish, earlier, my opinion. Let's see. Let's see if I'm on the mark or I'm far. Young man was arrested for a disturbing story of, I'm going to say sequestration. You understand me right now, right? So I can save some words. In a disturbing history of sequestration, where the victim had a finger and you call these, I forgot the word. Your feet have fingers, right? I forgot the word, man. Your toes. There you go. Your toes. So the guy had a finger and a toe cut off. From what I read here, and he admits his participation. Okay, could that be the story where we had the videotape of the guy sitting on a chair and he was forced to say it. I love BFM or something like that. You remember that one? Could it be that story? Because there's not too many stories of specifically the fingers and the ear off. There's maybe 2 that I know of. Only one comes to mind, though. So I'm saying 2 just to be on the safe side. Could that be one of the 2? Now, Julien Léguédard, condemned to 20 years of detention for his implication in the sequestration of Michael Chouinard in the war against paying taxes in the underworld. So there you have him. It's probably him on the right. And you see his pals there. And this looks like a surveillance camera footage. It doesn't look like they're at a party or a home photo. This is literally a surveillance camera. Let's see what they're going to give us here. The young man was arrested for sequestration and teeing someone, the infamous thing I can't pronounce. A man in Chicoutimi. So the victim is from Chicoutimi who lost his members, So now he's telling what really happens in the case. Julien Léguédard pled guilty on the 10th of March, 2025, in assault causing bodily harm, sequestration of Michael Chouinard. Okay, this is all legal mumbo-jumbo. Now let's see what he's to give us here. On the 21st of February, 2024, in the middle of the biker war for paying taxes to organized crime. The victim was found in Montreal. Oh, okay. He had come out of the trunk of the vehicle and abandoned. Yes, we did cover this story. Now, number one, I said early 2024. Bingo. You see the stories there. But number two, I didn't. Now we at least have a face to the person. Yo, guys, remember that mysterious... I'm pretty certain this is the story of the guy who was kidnapped somewhere else. He's not from Montreal. He was kidnapped in Quebec City or the red zone, and he was driven all the way to Montreal, and I think it was Rosemont neighborhood. I believe he was abandoned on Rosemont, and he was bloodied up. It's the only story like that I recall. It had to be that one. Crazy, huh? So we have a face to the guy who did it. So they had arrested somebody in that affair. I don't remember. Interesting. But the victim, Chouinard, known as a seller of stupefyers, for the account of the bikers, there you go, had then had his finger and toe off, as well as being burned in the buttocks with don't know what this word is, but you get it, a flame, something with flames in it, a flame device. Having confirmed in court of sequestrating the other dude, this last one did not want to collaborate. Further with authorities. So this is him right here. That's the guy who did it. So he teed the other person. So he's the one who was inside of that. Okay, we got a face to the story, man. Maybe it's good to remember his name. Maybe Julien Léguédard. My feeble attempt at memorizing. The police have. So the police have created a link. You know when you theorize something and you try to link events together? That's what they seem to be talking about here. They're saying that the police linked this story with a phone call received a couple of hours earlier by the Sûreté du Québec, which is a higher level than police. Like they are police, but not the police, municipal police. Like sort of like, if you want, like a version of like Quebec's RCMP, FBI. You know what I'm saying? Like you get what I mean? Detectives and for big crimes like that. You know, it's more serious stuff. It says here that the police made a link between what happened that night and a phone call that the SQ received in Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean. That's the bastion of the last remaining leader of the duo, which one was Pic-Turmel and the other one was Al-Boivin. So Al-Boivin's territory is in Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean. Now they're saying that they're linking this story here. This guy was kidnapped. I don't recall where, but in the red zone, I believe. And he was dropped off in Montreal. That's a dang long ride to be with the people who tormented you. It's not a 30-minute drive, guys. So now they're linking this to a phone call the SQ received in Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean, from Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean, the territory of Al-Boivin. Let's see what they're talking about here. What is this about? The property owner of an Airbnb had contacted authorities after having discovered blood inside of specific areas of his residence. I'm assuming he's renting a residence, and he found blood inside of it, notably on towels that were completely red. I'm not too sure what this means. The prosecutor in this case had described the scene during the investigation. Okay, there was a court, something about in court for the 20-year-old accused. Okay. So he's in court. This man's 20-year-old. They're probably talking about him. So during this trial, they described this scene. That's it. That's all it's saying here. And they described it as traces that resemble torture. They found or they're talking about the 20-year-olds. Okay, so maybe I'm completely confused. It's the victim, the 20-year-old, who's from Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean. I'm not sure. Because why I'm saying this now is they're saying that they found a ring with the effigies of the Hells Angels left on the scene. So The Airbnb owner calls the cops because he finds towels with bloods. The cops go inside of his Airbnb to investigate the towels, and they find an effigy of the Hells Angels. Now, it's not going to be him that's with the ring of the Hells Angels. That place is not going to be where he was sleeping, right? What is he doing with the ring of the effigy of the Hells Angels? It seems more like it's the victim who's working for under the Hells Angels. I don't know. So far I'm trying to figure out what it's saying in this story. I'm a little bit confused. Now, the investigators were able to identify Les Guedards thanks to cameras surveillance placed outside the Airbnb. So he probably went inside of that guy's Airbnb apartment that he was renting, held him hostage, and it seems like teed him inside there, inside of the place that the guy was renting, that Airbnb. Was it Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean, they said? And now the cops were able to engineer things backwards, and they have a footage of him at the restaurants or whatever. Says camera surveillance outside the Airbnb in a KFC restaurant where he went to buy food. I can't, he looks like a KFC dude. And, okay. Oh, not even, man. My bad. We're understanding the story. I'm understanding the story better now. Let's make a correction. He bought the KFC, and he took the food back to the rented location. Okay, no, still not clear. I was gonna think, maybe it looks like it was his own place, but it should be, no? Because who's gonna kidnap someone and while he's kidnapping the dude, go to KFC and then come back? That doesn't make sense. It sounds more like it was actually his location. That means he brought the victim to his location, or he just happened to torture the guy in another location and brought the towels back home. That's possible. It's looking more like that now. Sorry for the confusion. It's hard when you start from scratch like this and you try to figure out what they're saying, So the investigators were able to identify Les Guedards by cameras placed outside of the Airbnb in a restaurant, KFC, where he went to buy food that he then brought back to the rented Airbnb. These images were shown in court. So here you have him right there. So he gets 20 months of detention on March 10th for his implication in the sequestration and bodily harm and all that. The man was held inside of the Airbnb in Saguenay before being found in the streets of Montreal, where he was dumped without his toe and without one of his fingers, right? Let's keep going. Hence, no details of what happened inside of that Airbnb could be confirmed, not as long as. Yeah, I guess you could say that. As long as it's only Julien Les Guedards who was arrested in this affair. So he's not talking, basically, and there's nobody else to question. So no extra details will come out as long as he doesn't want to. Heinous and violent. The 20-year-old was condemned to 20 months of detention. All right, that's all legalese. I don't care. Okay, now the question becomes, I wanted to, only 20 months for all that. You can welcome us to Canada. So I didn't want to make a comment on that, but they're giving us an answer. The answer to the question, why only 20 months? If Les Guedards is getting away with this, it's because the minister was not able to show his implication beyond the facts that he was inside of the scene where the events occurred. But in his decision to keep the man detained during his process, while waiting for his process when he was detained in March of 2024, the judge, José Lemieux, had some harsh words for him. He qualified the crime as, sorry guys, I was wishing there was going to be a payoff here. Heinous, violent, etc. His participation in the kidnapping and holding hostage and inflicting bodily problems, removing parts, etc., shows a complete, disdain, blah, blah, blah. So, oh man, look at that. because he was already held and he's getting times and a half served, I guess, the young man only has 45 months to purge to finalize his case. In other words, you only get 1 year. You only get 1 year if you join a criminal organization and you do their bidding and you advance the cause and you do the worst of the worst things. In Canada, you can get out in 1. Wow, man. Everything works perfectly fine in Canada. Let's go to the next story, man. So the pressure is increasing against Al Boivin. Yeah, we don't need you guys to tell us this in an article. I think we can do the math. I'll leave that there. Why? Because, well, they caught the other guy, Pictomel. Now let's get to... Why is this twice? Let's see what we get here.
Les policiers de Québec
Sorry about that. Can I change the... Here you go. Try not to hurt your ears here.
n'ont rien ménagé pour tenter de capturer Dave Turmel.
The police did not stop to anything to capture Pic Turmel.
Mandat d'arrestation pan-canadien, notice rouge d'Interpol.
Pan-Canadian warning of him being hunted. He's all over the place in Canada, as well as working with Interpol.
$250,000 ont
$250,000 on his head.
même été offerts pour tout renseignement permettant de l'arrêter. Et c'est finalement chose faite.
And that's exactly what happened.
Selon nos informations,
According to our information,
il a été arrêté en Italie
he was arrested in Italy
par les autorités locales,
by local authorities
qui a mis un terme à sa cavale de près de 2 ans.
that ended his run of 2 years.
Nouvelle qu'il y a beaucoup de monde qui attendait, surtout au niveau des services policiers.
C'est une arrestation qui est quand même importante, puis en
It's an important arrest still,
même temps qui est symbolique.
and it's symbolic.
Dave Turmel serait à la tête du groupe Blood Family Mafia,
Dave Turmel would be at the head of a group called Blood Family Mafia.
des revendeurs de drogue indépendants
These independent resellers of stupefires
qui mènent une révolte contre les Hells Angels en
that are leading a revolt against the Hells Angels
refusant de leur payer des redevances.
by refusing to pay them taxes.
Meurtre, enlèvement,
Murder, kidnapping,
fusillade,
shootings,
torture,
torch, torch, I can't say the whole word.
le conflit s'est rapidement envenimé
The conflict quickly got bitter,
et des actes d'une rare violence ont souvent fait les manchettes.
and acts of violence have often made the airwaves, or headwaves, I don't know how you say this.
Les policiers ont arrêté des dizaines de suspects au Québec l'hiver dernier. Un proche de Turmel a même été arrêté
And last winter, a close friend of Dave Turmel was
au
arrested
Portugal, puis rapatrié. Dave
and
Turmel,
repatriated,
lui, demeurait introuvable
but he was not found. He could not be
jusqu'à maintenant.
until now.
Grâce souvent à des informateurs, grâce à des pistes d'information et maintenant même avec les nouvelles technologies qui nous permettent de traquer
We often catch these types of people with informers, but nowadays, with the advent of newer technologies,
des moyens de communication,
new methods of communications,
ben on arrive à ce résultat-là.
we arrive at this result.
L'arrestation de cette tête dirigeante pourrait permettre de calmer les tensions dans le monde criminel.
The arrest of this head of this group might be able to calm down tensions.
Quand on touche à des leaders comme ça au sein d'une organisation
When we touch leaders like this,
criminelle, il y a tout le temps une accalmie qui se fait par la suite.
there is always a calmness that follows.
Donc, je pense que ça, les policiers vont le prendre avec plaisir.
Mais rien n'est certain.
But nothing is certain.
Les criminels continuent souvent à gérer des empires de l'intérieur des murs.
There you go. And criminals often manage to manage empires from inside of walls of prison.
Ont des façons de se procurer des cellulaires, des moyens de télécommunication.
They have ways of procuring themselves cell phones.
La prochaine étape sera de rapatrier Dave Turmel au pays,
The next step would be to expatriate Turmel inside of Canada.
même si le Canada a un traité d'extradition avec l'Italie.
Even if Canada does already have an extradition agreement with Italy,
Le processus pourrait prendre plusieurs mois.
the process
Ici
could
Camille
take many
Carpentier,
months.
Radio-Canada.
All right, the obvious. What is he going to tell us?
C'est quand même particulier.
So he's under commissionary of the RCMP. Let's
Essayons de comprendre comment ça s'opère, une opération comme celle-là. Pierre-Yves Bordua, ex-sous-commissaire, voilà, de
He's just saying, giving him his title that he works for the RCMP. Don't worry.
la GRC qui est avec nous. Bonsoir.
Good evening.
Bonsoir, M. Savard.
Bon, comment ça se passe? Les policiers à Rome ont autre chose à faire que de traquer des criminels présumés canadiens.
So he's asking him, how does this happen? How do you catch this guy? People in the officers in Rome, they got better things to do than worry about our problems. How did you guys pull this off, basically? How did
Comment
this
ça
work
se passe, une arrestation
How
comme
does this
celle-là,
work in
dans un
arrest like
contexte
this?
comme celui-là?
Bien, ce qu'il faut comprendre, c'est que Interpol est en fait une organisation internationale. Il y a 195 membres qui est répartis un peu partout.
One must understand that Interpol is a group of 195 countries across the world that are working together. One must understand that.
Et l'Italie, évidemment, fait partie
Which Italy is a member of,
du
obviously.
protocole d'échange. La GRC au Canada opère les bureaux d'Interpol ici. Donc, s'il y a un mandat d'arrestation...
So, for example, in return, Canada also manages Interpol organization here. So if they have some people from those countries that are on the run over here, we're basically going to help them. So it becomes exchange, you know. I'm doing this for you. Of course you're gonna do it for me.
...qui a été mise par le service de police de la ville de Québec. À ce moment-là, Interpol peut émettre et a émis on appelle ça red notice, pour justement que les autorités un peu partout à travers le monde soient au courant de ce qui se déroule dans ce dossier-là en particulier.
So what they do is in Canada, we're going to get bored with this, but he's just saying that they emit a red alert to the other countries.
Et évidemment, ce que Bolo, c'est Be on the Lookout, l'organisation Bolo, a mis aussi de l'avant 250 000 $.
And then we have within Canada, the BOLO program that they put up 250,000.
Pour permettre l'arrestation de M. Turmel. So, dans ce contexte-là, il est certain qu'il y a peut-être des langues qui se sont déliées en cours de route pour permettre...
So in this situation, it looks like there were some tongues that got loosened.
...aux autorités canadiennes de dire, par exemple, aux autorités italiennes de voir où pourrait se localiser l'individu recherché.
Là, on va le ramener en sol canadien. Ça peut être assez long comme processus. Mais qu'est-ce qu'on fait avec lui une fois qu'il est prévenu, parce qu'il ne sera pas détenu? Il faut passer à travers le procès. Quand on amène ce
So he's asking him, now we're going to have to bring him here. What happens?
type de prisonnier-là,
This type of prisoner here, high caliber.
en sol canadien, où est-ce qu'on l'installe?
Where do we install him?
On ne l'installera pas à la prison de Québec, au centre de détention de Québec, comme d'autres détenus?
We're not going to put him in a jail like everybody else, are we? In the same location? No?
Ben, il est certain que son passé va faire que les autorités vont décider dans quel service correctionnel ils veulent s'assurer que l'individu demeure derrière les barreaux. Il y a aussi tout le processus.
So they're going to make a decision which prison they're going to store him in. And I think that's going to be really highly important. We're going to learn a lesson from this. We need to know the name of the prison they're going to install him. Because if somebody is on the run and he's the number one most wanted man, want to be killed by bikers, then it would be a nice, how you say this? It would be a nice, I don't know what the word is. It would be a nice lesson to learn, you know? Okay, so if you're hiding from the Hells Angels, the preferable prison for you would be X. We need to have that name of that prison. That would be preferable if you're going against the Hells Angels, where they would want to hide you. That's something good to know. That tells you perhaps which side dominates that prison.
Légal, c'est-à-dire que le ministère de la Justice canadien, en coopération avec le service de police de la ville de Québec, doit démarrer des procédures pour...
Yeah, this is all a bunch of blah blah. We're gonna move on.
Québec.
Wait a sec.
Les policiers de Québec n'ont rien ménagé pourtant.
L'ère des moyens télécommunicatifs d'information.
Yeah, we saw this. Why is it coming back? I clicked on the wrong one. Yeah, maybe I may have. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's where we
Le
were.
fait qu'il ça, d'habitude, c'est un processus qui est quand même...
Yeah, this is all a bunch
Ont
of.
des façons de se procurer.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think we're done with this article. Okay, now let's find out the main article of the day. The arrest of Dave Tsomel in Italy. The chief of gang betrayed by his banking transactions. Yesterday it was somebody snitched on him for the $250,000 reward. The previous video one of these guys speaking today, in this video today, I mean, one of the videos we just saw that I translated, may have been just this guy speaking right now. He said lips loosened for the 250,000. I'm leaning more to that. But then what is this about the chief of gang betrayed by his banking transactions? Which one is it? Someone's loose lips? Or they knew which bank account he was using, and that make it, I'm wondering. I'm very curious about this. How could it be both? Let's see. So Dave Turmel arrested Thursday in Italy. Okay, let's see. Again, Daniel Renault, $250,000 bounty on his head. Hidden in Italy for many weeks or a couple of months. Because initially they thought he was in Portugal, remember? And they did arrest his right-hand man in Portugal. So that statement makes sense. Turmel, the head of the Blood Family Mafia, was making purchases with prepaid bank cards. He was then located by Italian police, who was following him in order to arrest him in the middle of the night inside of a residence where he had rented a room or an apartment. In the street name is Segli Messapico in Torre Angela in Rome. So he was hiding in the city of Rome. He was found by the police district called Casilino. His presence was signaled by an alert sent to the police operation room of the prefecture of the area. The operation started at midnight. Taken by surprise, Pick had attempted to barricade himself in his house or in his room. So he attempted to barricade himself, it says. But then, a little bit later, I don't understand. But I guess they arrested him, and or they were going to arrest him, and he produced fake identification, giving fake passports as pieces of identification to the cops. He's hoping to get away with it. Now we do know that in Montreal there was a big clandestine laboratory for fake IDs. You know, this type of stuff I've been telling you. They're using this. It's a big bit. It looks like it's a serious business. It's much needed if you want to operate in that world. Now, this newspaper, La Presse, is reporting equally that the name that appeared on the passport, the fake passport that Turmel was using, his fake name, in Italy at least, was Sébastien Ménard Dumas, and that the Italian police had found in his apartment a small quantity of stupefyers. So he was consuming stupefyers. He was not selling it in Italy. Multiple SIM cards were found, as well as an agenda with notes in French, written in French, and in Arab, containing numbers in it. So he's keeping accounting of money that he has, perhaps. Maybe he's making phone calls. He definitely is. He has multiple SIM cards. Making phone calls in Canada, giving orders who to do what, collect what money, but he has to keep a note of all that, right? So they found his book, if you know what I'm saying. Now the funny, not funny, but the interesting part about this for me is the notes written in French, but in Arab. That is a funny one. I'm assuming it's just he had a few. Okay, he tried to code his writings a little bit. Maybe certain keywords that mean some illegal things. He used Arab words as slang to block them out. It's not that he speaks Arab, but that he knew a few words and he's using that to mask what's actually written inside of these documents. He's not just going to write 500 grams or kilos of cane. You know, he's not just going to write it openly like this. So he had to use some Arabic slang to hide it. That's my best guess. Now, here is what they seized from him. Looks like I see one single cell phone here. I do see the fake passport that's going to have the name Sébastien Ménard Dumas. Okay. I do see a key. This looks like a key to a vehicle, right? I'm not crazy, right? You can see an identification card, a fake one. Maybe it's a driving license from Quebec because he has a car key. So he's got to have a driving license. I doubt he took classes in Italy to get an Italian driving license. I think that, anyways, when I went to the States, I could drive with my Quebec driving license. Perhaps they have that in Italy too. Plus, that license does, to me, it looks very familiar to my driving license here in Quebec. It looks like this. So I'm assuming that's his fake driving license, but it won't have his real name on it. And then you have a second cell phone right there. Do you see that? Now, this card, I have no idea what it is. And finally, we have, I guess, what they're talking about, the 2 stupefiers. To me, this looks like tobacco. But I don't think anyone's going to go through so much trouble bubbling that like this. So it's definitely something else. Wonder what he was into, our friend here. I think that's about all we can pull from this photo of his seizure, of his bust in Italy. They found this in his room, they said. Right. He was trying to barricade himself. Now, they published this photo, they saying, with the fake passport, everything we just described. Next. In a press conference Friday, the director of the Quebec City Police, Denis Turcotte, did not want to reveal details of the fashion or method in which Turmel was found. So he does not want to probably reveal if someone spoke for that $250,000 reward. Note, he doesn't even want to confirm that. Funny that these newspapers, they are alluding to it. Could it just be because they want hot press? They want hotlines to publish stories so they could just pique our interest. Because I kept hearing that. So did you. But here you have the leader of the SPVQ not even giving us an inch here. But maybe he is giving us an inch. Because it says, but he did indicate that the Italian police had acted in function of information that the investigators had given them. Yeah, that's not an inch at all. This is pretty obvious. That's pretty obvious. To be able to catch him, tell him where to go. The Italian police did not initiate all of this from scratch, and that's not what happened. They more than 90% chance is the Canadian cops that told them, and they went to check. So that's not saying anything. He says, now here's a quote from this SPVQ director. He's being cryptic about it a little bit. He says, by collecting all the pieces of this jigsaw puzzle, we were able to give up coordinates, so locations, to the Italian police of where he was to be, and to proceed to his arrest. There you go. No, it's not too cryptic here. Sorry. Very precisely telling us that they gave the location of Pic Turmel to the Italian police, and that's why they went to that apartment. Now, we didn't need Einstein to tell us that. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. They went exactly to the corner of the barn where he was, exactly to that inch, That's no coincidence. Okay. But they had his location. So they had his location. How did they get his location? That could be answered by someone snitching. Okay, so at least one informer, it says. According to our information, the responsibles of the investigation targeting Dave Turmel in Quebec, so the lead investigators who are part of the SQ, the Police of Quebec as well, municipal one, and other police bodies would have, look at this, developed at least one informer since last year. Oh, that's it. It's the only way you could really explain this arrest. Quote, let's start a quote. It is not just information of a couple of days, in brackets, that allowed the arrest of Turmel. It's a big puzzle to follow someone that is moving across the world, to locate him, and to have a window of opportunity to get him. Hence, it is not one information of that's dated from yesterday or last week. So it's not just a single information they're saying that helped them bust him. He says it's the overall of what we had as information that allowed us to arrive to what happened this week. I don't understand what they're saying. At this specific location. Very cryptic here. He's being a little bit too cryptic for me. We're going to have to see what he means by that. We ignore up to which point the information provided by these informers were useful to the investigators, and of which way this was being shared or not, the reward of $250,000. Okay. It says if there's more than one, they don't know how this $250,000 is going to be distributed among these people. Now, they're playing games. We don't know if it's one, if it's two. We have no idea. Yeah, we're going to... Okay, here you go. This might be more interesting here. According to our information, this newspaper, La Presse, before going to Italy, Turmel would have landed first in Portugal, where one of his right-hand man, Rubens Denis, was arrested earlier, remember? Questioned around his moving... so they have Rubens Denis, his right-hand man. Now they're talking about his right-hand man. Questioned on the movements of Turmel during his run of 20 months. The director of the SPVQ... No, sorry, they're talking about the director right now. The director of the SPVQ did not want to give details of Turmel's movements in Europe. But he repeated... Okay, he repeated that he's saying that there was numerous countries involved. He got help from numerous countries. I guess he made phone calls and they checked certain information for him, so he can cross them off the list, I guess. Did someone land in this airplane from Quebec and maybe his name was, I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm a little suspicious here. Maybe, this is out of the wind here. There's a chance, I think maybe, just a pure luck chance maybe, that, remember that fake ID he had? Maybe someone had the name on his passport. Maybe. And they provided it to the cops, said, oh yeah, he's known to travel under this ID. His name is this. And perhaps they called France. They said, did you have someone with this plane, with this ID landed on your place? They said, nope. They crossed them off. And maybe they landed in Italy. And an Italian said, yes, we did have someone named Menard, whatever, the fake ID. That could explain a lot of things. But I'm throwing it out there. I don't know. I'm just making that up. That would be a perfect explanation or perfect way. Maybe they didn't know where he... I don't think Turmel is that stupid to tell. I don't know. Maybe... Either one of his close friends, who he trusted no matter what, betrayed him. Now that would mean maybe it's a Rubens Denis. But Rubens was with him in Portugal. It's clear that Turmel would have fled Portugal to go to Italy. So how would Rubens Denis know? So that's the weakness of that theory, that it's, you know what, it's his right-hand man. His right-hand man finally gave him up. You could explain that away. You could say, no, look, first of all, if he had fled to Italy, then how could Rubens Denis help catch him? He's gone from Portugal, so he doesn't know where he is. The other key is, what if he has his name on the passport? And he gave that up finally. That could explain it, but it doesn't mean it's only him. Someone else could also know the name on that passport, and it helped to catch him. But this is all pure speculation. It would be crazy if we landed on it, though. Let's keep going. According to our information, Turmel, who's detained inside of the prison of Regina Coeli, will not be accused of any crimes in Italy, such as faking his ID, having those stupefiers on him, all of that. Of course, he won't be, because they have an agreement. If they accuse him of a crime in Italy, etc., then he'll have to be charged in Italy. He'll have to be held there longer. He'll have to be prosecuted over there, and then he might get jail time over there. That defeats the whole purpose of this Interpol stuff. You know, there's agreement of like, you got one of our criminals, we want to punish him over here. We want to get those criminals back here, and we want to punish them. You know, so look at that. When you could, you know, up to a reasonable extent. You know, if you didn't do something too crazy while you were hiding over there, you can get away with a couple of stuff, guys. You can get away with a couple of stuff. As long as Canada catches you and they told you to catch you over there, don't worry about what you did there. They'll extradite you. They won't charge you with anything, you know? So let's keep going. The procedure of extradition will begin tomorrow. Now, this article is written on the 28th. Oh, no, it's updated on the 28th. But yeah, at least 2 days old. So it's already initiated by now, right? Because they're saying, yeah, this procedure of extradition will begin. Oh, no, it'll begin right now. Sorry, I thought it said yesterday. It will begin right away. The young chief of gang would be repatriated to Quebec in the following weeks. Earlier, we heard it could take a couple of months. Now they're saying a couple of weeks. I guess a couple of weeks could be a couple of months, right? Maybe a couple means 4 to 8 weeks. That's already 2 months. 1 to 2 months, maybe. Turmel is already targeted here by accusations of trafficking stupefires. Remember earlier this year, maybe not like a month ago, we talked about two of his, not even a month ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, one or two of his co-defendants for the same crime with Turmel, they got their sentence. You remember we just read about it? I already forgot. But Turmel could not be prosecuted for that. He was on the run. His friends did get their sentence. Like just last week, I think we talked about that. So that's what they're saying here. It says Turmel is already targeted for accusations of trafficking stupefires. Already, he's wanted for those. Not even for the Blood Family Mafia saga of last year, which is even bigger and all that. You know, directing a criminal organization to battle the Hells Angels. Not even that part. He was already in trouble for trafficking stupefires. They already wanted him. But they're saying yes, we will add possibly the other stuff this year. Yeah, so let's remind you of those things that happened. That's it. We got through it today. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see if we can. Sorry about that. I try to catch up. As I do that, let me just give you a shout out as I read. Luc Huez Murtadel Picard. Luc Picard, what's up, buddy? Anthony Serrano, what a bro. Chris Hensley, what's up? K6 Real, how you doing? Thank you. Sleeping Joe, he's not sleeping. Rodney, what's up, Rodney? Dave Dupont. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. That's a big compliment, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. If it warm makes me feel appreciated, dude. I really thank you so much for that comment, bud. Chris Hensley, how's it going? How you doing, Chris Hensley? Daniel Gould, what's up, buddy? Zachary Mitchell, how you doing? Jesse Marasco, how are you, pal? Mountain Woman, hey Crafty, real nice to see you live for a change. Oh yeah, I thought I didn't know you don't catch the lives, eh? It's all good, man. It's good to see you, man. Good thing. I guess I got lucky tonight, man. We got lucky, man. Good to see you, pal. Sheriff of YouTube, what's up, buddy? Nothing is certain except the youth. Exactly. You know, he's talking about Max the Youth. Nothing is certain except Max the Youth. Sleepin' Joe, Mr. Green Thumb, how are you, buddy? Okay, you commented on a video. I don't get the notifications for them, dude. I don't get the notifications. I thought you said you sent me a message. Yeah, I have no clue. Honestly, I only post videos. I don't know how to use it. I figured out YouTube, you know. But man, all this Instagram, Twitter, all this stuff, it goes over my head, man. At a certain point, I'm completely out of it. I can't even figure out how to find your comments. Or when I was there, I just look at the notification part. If it's there or it's not, it didn't appear, you know. I checked my messages. I didn't see a message there. I thought it was a message. Sheriff YouTube, I bet the fake ID guys that got busted gave up Pic's new name. That's possible. That's really good one, man. Yeah, you never know, man. If those guys get popped with all those IDs, you can just say, I sold one to Pic. Now, do you really want me or are you going to give me a break? Imagine. Yeah, that's a risky one, man. That's a big one. Those guys are dangerous. The guys who sell you those fake IDs are some of the most dangerous people you could work with, guys. Good luck. You might need them. You might need them, but it comes at a big freaking price. If you're on the run and you buy your IDs from him, he has your photo to make that card. He knows who you are. You know, now if he gets caught, you know, just make sure he doesn't know nothing. Next, Jesse Marasco, what's up? Or his plug is Arab and he's not the boss. Maybe. I mean, he's writing stuff in his... the question is, why is he writing it in Arab? Doesn't speak Arab, but his personal notes, the words are in Arab. The passport forgers obviously gave up Pick's new name, and they made up his counterfeit passport. The counterfeiters will probably get off easy. Yeah, that's it. Could be, man. That would be interesting. We might find out. Maybe the tracker on the phone. I think it's somewhere through the money. He obviously had to have money wired through somehow for him. Ish still rolling back home. That's possible too. Is face recognition used at airports? Good question. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. They're late. If they're not doing it now, that tells you how late they are, you know. But in Canada's late for everything, so that wouldn't shock me. America, no, it's got to be there. Canada, forget it. Quebec, forget it. Yes, money, and he has a location sign. Call, phone the country to country. I'm not too sure. You know, it's hard to figure out the message you wrote. For me. Not because you can't write or anything, you know. Me too. I type sometimes, you know, and just when someone else reads it, as it's like try to figure out what the person's saying. Sometimes it's not obvious. Sorry about that. Chatting with Stacks show. What's up, Stacks? How are you doing? Thank you, bro. Welcome here, bud. Always happy to have you around here, man. Thanks a lot, buddy. And Stacks is a hardworking person. One of the most hard-working YouTubers with a crime channel that I've ever seen, man. The guy works hard, dude. You know, he deserves to get some recognition for what he does, some success. But YouTube's algorithm, I hate how it works, you know. It buries some channels. But this guy is a very hard worker, man. He's on the grind, you know. And if you want to see, unlike me, he has some crazy good content because he interviews the criminals, the people who are in the underworld. He speaks to them. He asks them really good questions, you know. He's very professional with what he does, you know. There's a lot of value to be gained there if you like to see the actual people speaking, American gangsters. Go check out Chatting with Stacks show. You know, I'm sure he'll appreciate having you. And Mountain Woman, Dave Dupont, William Lenark. What's up, William? GX, what's up, brother? GX, I saw you comment on one of the Iron Sheiks videos, bud. You know, I was happy to see you, man. You watch him too, bud? I love watching his videos just to laugh, bro. The guy's amazing. He's a legend. I think I saw you, man. Zachary Mitchell, good looks on the shout out. Yeah, buddy. We always happy to have you, Zachary. Thank you for being here. Counterfeiters are highly ranked, Jesse Marasco says. Really? Yeah, you're teaching me something that I didn't know. Interesting. Thank you. And Ryan C says, I learned about Stacks from here. Really good. You go check him out, but you know, definitely check him out. Everybody else, if you like American crime and you want to see him actually interview gangsters, you go check out his channel. You know, and you're gonna get value there. He's hardworking. There's always another person, and he asks good questions. He's easy to listen to. He's very professional, and he takes this seriously. You know, and it's not like some nerd doing it for views. You know, sometimes it kind of makes you a little bit angry how everyone's a sellout. You see some dude, he's a virgin from Malibu, and he's opening a channel about this stuff. You know. But he's never cracked an egg in his life in any way, fashion. You know, he's never even smoked a joint, basically. Like, that's not Stacks. You know, Stacks is, he grew up, you could tell, life was not easy for him. He can get along with that crowd. It's like, he even went to prison, unfortunately. etc. So when you get someone authentic doing this, he knows what questions to ask. He's not trying to look pretty. He's not trying to be a pretty boy. He's not trying to be a celebrity. He's just trying to do the subject matter justice, the correct way, So you're going to get some good stuff from there. And Max the Youth. What's up, Max? How are you doing, pal? Yeah, where's the other Dave Sormel? We have Dave Sormel number 2, the counterfeit. He's not here tonight, man. I missed. He's supposed to come here and speak for him. He's supposed to come here and make a comment. He's missing, man. Where are you, Dave Sormel number 2? Max says, the youth says, he got his phone confiscated. 30 days in the hole. Wonder who we're talking about. Confiscated. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes you guys know my memory's so short. Then when I read your comments after, I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, man. Well, thank you guys for being here. We're at 55 minutes. I think it's... Most people can't stand 55, but yeah. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Shout out to Luc Picard, Anthony Serrano, Chris Hinsley, K6 Real, Rodney Stubbert, Dave Dupont, Daniel Gould, Zachary Mitchell, Jesse Marasco, Mountain Woman, Sheriff of YouTube, Sleepin' Joe, Green Thumb from Ottawa. Where are we at? Ryan C., chatting with Stax himself, William Lenark. Did I say Dave Dupont? GX. And yeah, I got everyone. Sorry if I missed you. I hope I didn't. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful evening, friend. And Max the Youth.